Hey guys, welcome to the Hope That Heals You with me, Marie Nazria, where I talk about anything and everything that comes up in my life, my friend's life, my family's life, and I have learned tools in how to deal with that, or sometimes someone's going through a really hard time, and I can help them navigate that in a pretty simple way. Sometimes it's best to strip things back and just call it what it is. And I hope these videos help. I hope these podcasts help. I hope that you get something from this. So today's topic is dealing with their ex. A lot of people are in relationships with their partners and the ex comes up. The ex can come up a lot. The ex can come up without you even knowing we're talking about the ex sometimes. Sometimes you trigger your partner, or your partner gets upset about something, and then when you peel it back after hours of conversation or whatever's going on, you realize like, oh, this is like stuff from their past relationship. Now, there's so many different ways to look at this. I like to look at it very, very simply. The simple way to look at it is their ex is their ex. Their ex is their ex for a reason, and thank goodness for their ex, because now you're in this relationship with this person that you love. So I look at the ex as like a very positive thing. The ex is a stepping stone to get to you. So they had to go through their ex, learn from their ex, experience their ex, and then they can appreciate you. So that in and of itself is just like, I think, a really positive thing, instead of leading with like jealousy, comparison, anything negative. And the reality is, when dealing with anything also, we want to try to like look at the positive side of things. There's so many perspectives to all experiences, and I choose to look at my partner's exes as a positive thing. And that actually helps me, because when I'm having a conversation or if the ex is brought up, I'm not immediately going into like another mode, like a protective mode, a jealousy mode, an anger mode. I'm going into, yeah, like, you want to talk about your ex-partner that it didn't work out with your current partner that you're happy and in a healthy relationship with? Let's go. Like, we're just talking about a bad relationship or a relationship that didn't end well. So I'm fine talking about that. And at the end of the day, we're here to support one another. I have exes, and sometimes I want to feel free to discuss something with my partner and say, my ex used to do that and it used to really bother me, da 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 da. And it really helps. It brings context to how we deal with things. We learn so much from our past relationships. It's almost a shame to just disregard or create a really hard line where we can't discuss exes. I know people who are like, you've never slept with anyone before me, or don't tell me anything about your exes. I mean, that only indicates that you have serious jealousy issues and controlling issues, nothing more. So we all have a history, right? So in my experience, currently in my life, my partner has an ex and they co-parent. So his ex is brought up significantly in a very like a practical, logical way when they're planning their daughter's trips and us seeing her, etc. And a lot of people are like, oh, wow, you are dealing with an ex-wife and they have a child. How do you deal with that? And the reality is, I don't deal with that. I deal with my partner, and my partner and I discuss things, and we agree to things, and we make choices together. This has nothing to do with his ex. Our relationship has nothing to do with his ex, except she does show up when we're talking about their child, which makes sense also. This is all very logical. Now, has an ex of a partner ever like gotten involved in our life and like upset our situation or ruined an evening? Absolutely. And those moments, they suck. But let's not create negative relationships. Let's diffuse them, right? Let's not let them affect our lives. I'm not on this planet to have problems with my partner's ex. She doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not invested in her. Neither is my partner. If something comes up for me, I discuss it with my partner. Something came up, my partner had a tendency, because he co-parented with his ex without a partner for a very long time. So they would get on the phone, they'd make decisions together, and it would be about their daughter, and that would be that. And then recently I noticed that he's just informing me what the plan is, and it rubbed me the wrong way. Now, I can make it about his ex. I can make it about his relationship with his ex. I can make it about me and him. I can make it about anything I want, right? But instead I said, hey, babe, when you're making decisions about your co-parenting, if it involves me or my time, or, if it involves me in my life, I want to have that conversation with you. So feel free to have those conversations with your ex, but don't make a finite plan until we discuss it. And he was like, oh yeah, totally, of course. Yeah, didn't think of it that way. So I was like, okay, great. And then, that's no longer an issue. So, exes, they can also have, they could also want to enter your relationship. This is a conversation with your partner about boundaries. If your partner can't create boundaries, that's a different issue. That has nothing to do with the ex. The ex is actually just showing up to remind you of these issues you have, whether it's communication. They say don't shoot the messenger. Sometimes they're a messenger. I feel, especially now that I'm co-parenting, my relationship with my partner's ex is fine. It's neither here nor there. In the beginning, I actually wanted it to be much closer because now I'm in her daughter's life. And that didn't happen. I don't think she wanted that. And my partner also said, don't reach out unless you have to, or unless we talk about it. And I respect that. I'm not. So it's interesting because I don't think this is the end of the evolution of my relationship with his ex. But what's important to me, what works for me in my life, which is what you should be thinking about, is creating a peaceful environment, especially if you're co-parenting, because that person's in your life. And the most important person in that scenario after yourself is the child, is the young adult that's in between it all. So you want to make things as seamless as possible. So why create drama? Why do that? This is how I feel about dealing with exes. I feel like they exist, and that's great. Try to not create problems. Try not to make it worse. Try not to be sometimes your partner's ex is so horrific. And then what do? You match it by being horrific as well? No, that's not the point. We're here to evolve. We're here to be in healthy relationships. We're not here to create problems. If you are, that's an entirely different situation. And that ex is just showing up to support you in that. So I hope that helps. Make sure you're communicating with your partner what your needs are. Try not to escalate the situation. So another example before I leave you is I'm a yeller, not in fight mode, but I yell all the time. I yell hey, come here. Hey, can you come here? And my partner's like, please don't yell. And I'm like, well, I'm just used to it. It's I was brought up in a house of yellers. He's like, yeah, but it totally triggers me. So be aware of your partner. Be aware of, what's fine for you can be really alarming for another. So be mindful of that in communication. Try to be better. Try to always be better. Try to always be learning. Try to always be growing in your partnership and independently. And I think that if you're doing that, then you can deal with all their exes. They're a non-issue. They're not important in a way that they take up your time and they take up your energy, or they even poison your relationship. Thank you so much. Let me know if you have any questions. I can talk about this for hours. Please subscribe to my channel if you like this video, or share it with your friends. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.